God says money will flow to you like water. Take a moment and breathe in this truth, because it is not by chance that you are here right now, reading these words and feeling the pull in your spirit. There is a divine appointment woven into this very moment, a sacred alignment that goes far beyond what the human mind can fully comprehend. You might have stumbled upon this message in the midst of chaos, or perhaps you felt a nudge telling you that your life is about to change. Do not ignore that nudge. It is God's way of inviting you into something bigger, something drenched in favor and overflowing with possibilities. Open your heart and allow this message to speak directly to your soul. You are meant to hear these words. You are meant to realize that your struggles, whether financial or emotional, are not permanent. They are stepping stones, preparing you for a future where money moves effortlessly in your life, like water rushing through an open channel. This shift is not a mere hope or fantasy. It is a promise anchored in an unwavering divine truth. Take hold of it with unwavering determination and let your faith rise. Imagine standing at the bank of a mighty river, watching it flow without restraint. No matter how much water is drawn, there is always more surging forward. That is the nature of the blessing God wants to pour upon you. The river of divine provision never runs dry. It constantly renews itself, continually brimming with resources that seem to come from nowhere and yet are always right on time. Perhaps you have spent too many nights worrying about bills, replaying scenarios of lack in your mind, wondering if your hard work will ever be enough. But God is saying, trust me, I am your endless source. Money will flow to you like water, and you will see how I make a way where there seems to be no way. Before we go further, pause for a moment and take action in faith. Show your readiness by doing 3 simple things. Like this video, subscribe so you stay connected to these divine messages, and leave a comment with the number 777. This number represents spiritual completeness, a powerful sign that you are ready for what God is about to do. When you comment 777, you are declaring, I believe in the flow of blessings and I receive it now. Words carry power. Actions carry faith. By making this small step, you are aligning with the promise that money will flow to you like water. It does not matter what your background is or how many times you have stumbled. God is not limited by the setbacks or closed doors you've faced. In fact, those very trials have been shaping your character, refining you like gold through fire. Perhaps there were moments you thought this was the end of the road, times you felt swallowed by debt, disappointment, or heartbreak. But despite every storm, here you stand. You have survived. You are stronger. And now you are about to enter a chapter of unshakable abundance. Not the kind of abundance that flashes for a moment and disappears, but the sort that becomes a steady current, transforming every aspect of your life. Picture yourself stepping into a realm where opportunities appear in the most unexpected ways. Job offers come at the perfect time. Business ideas start thriving without the usual struggle. Debts that once weighed you down are wiped out with a speed that leaves you speechless. This is the overflow God has for you, a relentless, unstoppable outpouring that washes away the residue of lack and limitation. Do not let doubt steal this vision from you. Doubt is the enemy of faith, the voice that whispers impossible when God is declaring inevitable. Today, dare to see beyond your immediate circumstance. Dare to believe in a future that is not restrained by your past. Dare to declare, money will flow to me like water, and I will honor God with every blessing. Because when divine abundance meets a willing heart, miracles unfold. There are countless stories of those who started with nothing but a promise, only to end up with more than they ever dreamed. That same promise is now knocking on your door, calling you to open it and let the flow of grace rush in. Any narrative about finances often comes wrapped in guilt or fear, especially if you have faced repeated disappointment. You might have tried different strategies, read countless books, followed step-by-step plans, but somehow still ended up feeling stuck. Yet God's provision is not just another strategy, it is a supernatural current that defies human limitations. When you open yourself to this divine flow, logic yields to favor, hard work does not vanish, but it becomes infused with something greater, something unstoppable. Lift your perspective higher. The creator of the universe is the one who has spoken life into your bones. Why would such a loving God place dreams inside your heart only to see them wither away? He would not. Often, we hold on to the idea that we must strive endlessly just to survive. But God's message is clear. Act today. Step into my promise, because when you do, you will witness money streaming into your life like water cascading from the heavens. There is power in speech. Use it. Speak blessings over your life, over your finances, over your dreams. Say, I accept the overflow. I embrace new opportunities. I am ready for the outpouring. Refuse to speak words of lack or despair any longer, because words shape reality more than we realize. Each time you declare favor, you build a new atmosphere around you, one in which miracles are not just possible but expected. The greatest battles often start in the mind, and victory is declared by the words you choose to speak. Let this sink into your spirit. God's resources are infinite. Human logic tells us resources are limited, that if one person rises, another must fall. But in the divine economy, the well never runs dry. God can bless you immeasurably without depriving anyone else. Release the fear that if you are blessed, someone else must suffer lack. That is not how God operates. When He blesses you, it is to make you a beacon of hope, a conduit through which His goodness flows to others as well. As money streams into your life, you will find opportunities to be generous, to uplift those around you, and to inspire others to trust in this same promise. If at any moment you feel anxiety creeping back, maybe an unexpected bill appears, or you remember a past failure, pause and pray. Prayer is your lifeline, your direct connection to the one who orchestrates all things for your good. Remind yourself that your identity is not anchored in your past or your bank account, but in the unwavering faithfulness of a God who can make rivers burst forth in a desert. Yes, rivers in a desert, a place of barrenness transformed into lush abundance. That is what God is eager to do for you. Let your faith be the open channel through which that river can flow. Prepare yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually for the shift that is coming. Begin by releasing all grudges or resentments, because holding on to negativity will only clog the pipeline of blessings. Forgive those who doubted you, who hurt you, who owed you. By letting go, you free your hands and heart to receive what God is pouring out. Then, look around at your current environment. Is it reflective of someone expecting overflow, or does it scream limitation? Clean your space, organize your plans, set your mind on success and generosity. When you anticipate God's blessings, your life posture changes from desperation to readiness. Now, picture the day you awaken to a breakthrough so profound, it feels surreal. Perhaps that day is closer than you think. Let every moment from now on be lived with expectation. Treat every challenge as a stepping stone, every delay as a setup for a grand reveal of favor. Keep reminding yourself that God can accelerate your progress in the blink of an eye. What took others years may take you months or even weeks when you align with His timing. Money will flow to you like water, and it will happen at the perfect speed, the perfect pace, orchestrated by the one who never fails. Do not forget the simple yet powerful action steps. Like, subscribe, and comment 777. Every time you do, you are casting a vote of faith in your own breakthrough. Your faith, paired with God's unending abundance, is a force that can move mountains, shift trajectories, and open doors previously slammed shut. You might wonder if this is just another internet notion, just another motivational clip in a sea of countless others, but deep within, you sense this is different. You feel the tug of truth pulling you forward, telling you that this message is heaven's invitation to break free. Always remember that you are not alone in this journey. There is an entire community of people stepping into the flow of God's provision alongside you. Each person who believes, each person who comments 777, is stepping onto this current of supernatural provision. Imagine the synergy when hearts and minds unite in the same faith. Miracles are multiplied. It is like rainfall pouring into a mighty river, fueling it to run faster and further than ever before. You become part of a collective blessing that overflows into families, neighborhoods, and entire regions. There may be those around you who question your newfound hope, who doubt the reality of a divine source that can turn your financial situation around. Let them doubt. That is their prerogative. But do not let their skepticism harden your heart or shrink your vision. Often people project their own limitations onto those daring to believe. You do not have to debate or argue. Simply keep your eyes on the promise. Keep stepping in faith and watch how your testimony unfolds. When the blessings become evident, even the skeptics will have no choice but to wonder if there is indeed a higher power at work. In the meantime, fill your mind and spirit with positivity. Dive into Scripture, remind yourself of those who trusted God and witnessed His miraculous provision. Stories of widows whose jars of oil never ran empty, tales of barren lands turning fertile in a single season, these are not fables. They are reminders that your story can hold the same wonder, the same undeniable mark of the divine. God does not change. The same power that operated then is available now, waiting for hearts bold enough to receive. Consider the power of gratitude. Every morning, open your day by speaking gratitude for blessings seen and unseen. Thank God for the roof over your head, for the food you eat, and yes, for the financial miracle on its way, even if you do not see it yet. Gratitude is a key that unlocks doors in the spiritual realm. It is an act of declaring your trust before the evidence appears, a sign that you believe God's promise more than the temporary limitations around you. As you cultivate gratitude, you align yourself more deeply with the flow of blessings, making it easier for that current to stream unimpeded into your life. Feel the momentum growing inside you, like a river current picking up speed. This is the motion of faith, the beautiful pull of destiny that cannot be denied. You are no longer standing still, wondering if something good might happen. You are in motion, actively cooperating with grace, eagerly expecting each day to unveil a new piece of the miracle. Set aside every voice that says, "This cannot be real." Deep down, you already know it is real because you can sense a shift in your atmosphere. Doors that were once tightly closed now seem to have cracks of light beaming through them. If you find yourself worried about timing, remember that God is never late. His watch operates on a higher plane, synchronizing people and events for your benefit. What looks like a delay is often a preparation. Embrace these moments because they are building your character, ensuring that when the financial flow arrives, you will handle it with wisdom and grace. Picture yourself not just receiving money, but also using it to uplift others, to feed the hungry, to invest in life-changing projects, to be the reason someone else discovers hope. That is how the cycle of divine blessing works. It pours into you and overflows to those around you, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own life. By now, maybe you have liked this video, subscribed, and left your 777 comment. If so, your journey to unstoppable abundance has already begun. If you have not yet done it, do it now as an act of faith. There is power in unity, in collectively standing together and declaring that the old patterns of lack are breaking. This is your moment to jump into the river, to let yourself be carried by God's current of provision. Do you feel the energy building? Let it propel you into action. If there is a business idea burning in your heart, start taking practical steps toward it. If you have skills that can be honed, invest the time to refine them. Faith without works is dead, but faith in motion produces wonders. Combine the natural with the supernatural. Do what you can in the physical realm, knowing that God is amplifying your efforts in the spiritual realm. It is a divine partnership that brings forth results far greater than anything you could achieve alone. Your transformation will not be subtle or hidden away, it will be evident. Those who once doubted or overlooked you will begin to see the glow of favor on your life. You may even catch them whispering, "What changed? Why are blessings chasing this person down?" That is the unmistakable mark of someone walking in divine overflow. This shift in your finances will also reflect in your relationships, your health, your mindset. Lack is not merely an external condition. It can seep into our attitudes and beliefs, keeping us small. But as you break free, you will find yourself brimming with newfound confidence, clarity, and compassion. God is stirring something monumental within you. It is not a coincidence that you are here, immersed in these words, absorbing their essence into your soul. This is a wake-up call, a beacon in the night. Embrace it wholeheartedly. Money will flow to you like water, yes, but with that flow comes a greater calling. To shine bright, to show others that the impossible is possible, to stand as a living testimony of what faith can birth in a person's life. You are entering a realm where miracle and normality collide, leaving you speechless in the face of God's lavish goodness. Pause again. Can you sense the fire inside you growing stronger with each paragraph? That is the fire of possibility, the blazing certainty that God did not create you for scarcity. Take a moment to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and envision yourself stepping into a future where financial doors open at the right time, where every need is met abundantly, and where giving becomes as natural as breathing. That is the future God has always intended for you. One where you are a conduit of blessings, not just a receiver. Yet, do not be discouraged if life still throws challenges your way. Challenges are not signs of a broken promise, they are invitations to deepen your trust. Even in Scripture, those favored by God still faced trials. The difference is that every trial was an opportunity for God to show up in miraculous ways. Every storm you endure positions you for a greater testimony. Let each problem that arises drive you closer to God, not push you away. When the difficulties come, you will find you are no longer easily shaken, for you are anchored in a promise that goes beyond what eyes can see. Every resource in the universe ultimately flows from the same divine source. It is easy to get caught up in the illusion that money is in the hands of bosses, banks, or global markets. But these are just channels. God can shift resources in an instant to ensure your well-being. What matters is that your heart remains open and your faith remains strong. The greatest block to this divine flow is often the walls we build, walls of doubt, fear, or unworthiness. Tear down those walls. Step boldly into the truth that you are worthy of receiving and managing God's blessings responsibly. When you do so, do not be surprised if you suddenly encounter new partnerships, or if a phone call changes your life overnight. Do not be shocked if an unexpected check arrives, or if your business experiences sudden growth that surpasses all logic. This is how it happens when the spiritual realm intersects with your earthly circumstances. The pace of transformation can be mind-boggling, but it also feels entirely natural when you are aligned with the God who set the stars in motion. You begin to expect the extraordinary as your new normal. Now, keep going. Keep pressing forward in faith. Keep declaring, "Money will flow to me like water, and I will use it for a higher purpose." Speak it aloud, write it down, Hold it in your heart. The more you speak it, the more you program your spirit to receive it. And the more you believe it, the more heaven's gates open to pour out blessings that defy human limits. This is not empty positivity. It is a collaboration with the divine, an act of surrender that says, "I trust you, Lord. Let your favor pour into every area of my life." Feel that holy confidence rising. You are stepping into a mighty current, and it will not be silenced or slowed. Just like water finds its way around rocks, carving out new paths through solid ground, God's provision will find its way to you. It will circumvent obstacles, dissolve roadblocks, and create miracles of timing and placement. You will look back in awe, realizing how perfectly everything aligned, how each piece of the puzzle clicked into place, as though guided by an unseen hand. You will testify that truly money can flow like water when it is orchestrated by the Master of creation. This invitation stands open for everyone, regardless of where you have been or what you have done. There is no judgment here, only grace. So do not disqualify yourself based on past failures or current shortcomings. Simply remain receptive, keep your heart soft, and watch how God transforms every stumbling block into a stepping stone. The future you dreamed of is not as distant as you think. Draw closer, hold this promise tight, and watch how your life begins to shift. You are about to witness something remarkable. You may be thinking, but I have heard messages about blessing and prosperity before, and my situation never changed. The difference now is your posture of belief. No longer are you passively wishing. You are actively engaging, aligning your declarations, your actions, and your mindset with God's unlimited power. You have stepped beyond doubt, beyond mere hope, into a state of fierce expectation. This is where miracles happen. This is where the intangible becomes tangible, where prayer materializes into open doors and stable finances that remain solid through any crisis. Stay focused and never underestimate the power of community. When we gather, even virtually, in one accord, liking, subscribing, and commenting 777, we create a collective current of faith. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, there is God in the midst, multiplying the impact of each individual's belief. Even if it seems like a small digital action, it symbolizes unity, a joint stance that we will no longer live under the weight of lack. This stance reaches heaven like a mighty roar, and heaven responds with the unstoppable flow of provision. As you move forward, maintain a spirit of generosity. Bless those around you whenever you can. Give your time, your care, and your resources in proportion to how God leads you. Generosity is a hallmark of someone who understands true abundance, recognizing that by giving, you are making room for even greater inflow. It may seem counterintuitive to give when you feel you do not have enough, but that is precisely the kind of radical faith that triggers supernatural acceleration. Each act of generosity sows seeds for future harvests that come back pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Yes, money will flow to you like water, and that flow will carry the power to transform not just your bank account, but your whole way of living. You will think bigger, dream bolder, and act with greater courage. No longer trapped by the fears that used to confine you, you step out of your comfort zone into places where favor has been waiting all along. The path may not always be linear, but rest assured that every twist and turn is guided by divine wisdom. Trust that even a detour can be the path to your greatest blessing. Keep your mind filled with testimonies of those who broke free from impossibilities. History is filled with individuals who went from rags to riches not by chance, but by alignment with a higher purpose. Their stories can be your inspiration, reminding you that if it can happen to them, it can happen to you. The same God who guided them, who opened unexpected channels of provision, stands ready to do the same in your life. Your story may become the very example that inspires the next wave of believers. If at any point the weight of negativity creeps in, fight back with worship. Turn on uplifting music, speak praises to God, and flood your environment with an atmosphere of hope. Negativity cannot coexist with heartfelt worship. It dissolves under the power of gratitude and reverence. In that sacred space, you will find refreshment for your soul and clarity for your mind. You will remember exactly who you are, a beloved individual meant to shine, meant to carry blessings and pass them on to others. Do not place limits on how far God can take you. Perhaps you dreamed of an extra bit of income to pay the bills, but God wants to fund your dreams far beyond that. Perhaps you only prayed to get out of debt, but He wants to position you to uplift your entire family, your neighborhood, maybe even launch a worldwide movement that breaks chains and sets people free. Stop limiting a limitless God with small prayers. Dare to expand your vision. Dare to believe in the extraordinary. Dare to expect the miraculous as part of your everyday experience. Remember to stay humble in the rise of your blessing. True strength is found in humility, knowing that every good gift comes from the Father above, not from human striving alone. When blessings pour in, do not let pride have a foothold. Keep your heart centered on gratitude, acknowledging that the same grace that brought you abundance can also guide you in stewarding it well. True wealth is not about hoarding resources. It is about multiplying them to fulfill a God-given purpose, to lift others, and to bring hope to places where despair once reigned. If you sense a swelling of emotion or a flutter of excitement in your chest, that is your spirit awakening to the reality of God's promise. Lean into it. Let your soul resonate with the truth that money will flow to you like water. You do not need to force or strain for it. You simply need to believe and align your life accordingly. This journey is an adventure of faith, a dance with the divine that can lead you places you never thought you would reach. Have courage and keep stepping forward. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to sink even deeper into this flow of possibility. The words you are taking in are not random. They are charged with intention, with a spark of the miraculous. Whenever doubt tries to whisper that this promise is too good to be true, gently remind yourself that doubt belongs to a life you are leaving behind. You are on a path now where faith outshines fear, and divine provision overcomes the narrative of scarcity. Money will flow to you like water. Close your eyes for a moment and let that phrase reverberate through your being. This is not a casual statement, but a profound truth, one backed by the endless benevolence of the Creator. There is no negotiation here, no maybe or hopefully. It is a reality that you are invited to partake in, a river of blessing you can step into any time your heart says yes. The challenge is not the flow itself, it is whether you will allow yourself to enter it fully. So much of our resistance to blessing lies in our own self-imposed beliefs, but now is the time to dismantle them, one by one. Think back on every time you thought it was the end of the road, that the door was sealed, the money was gone, or the opportunity was lost. Didn't something unexpected eventually happen to keep you going? Perhaps it was a small windfall, a timely favor, or an unanticipated chance to pivot. These moments were not accidents. They were divine nudges, hints of a greater plan that's always been in motion. Now, those little hints are converging into a flood of favor, and you stand on the brink of witnessing it firsthand if you haven't already. Before we go further, take a moment to reflect on the state of your heart. Are you harboring bitterness or unforgiveness? Are you clinging to the belief that nobody is ever there to help you, that you have to do everything alone? Each of these thoughts, while understandable, can act like dams that slow or block the flow of blessings. The river is still there, powerful and abundant, but walls of negativity can divert or delay what is meant for you. By consciously letting go, by choosing to forgive, by embracing the possibility of supportive connections, you tear down these walls and allow the current of provision to rush in unobstructed. It might seem like a paradox. To receive more, you sometimes have to release what you're holding on to. Yet this is how the spiritual realm often works. You create space for new blessings by shedding the burdens that no longer serve you. Think of a gardener pruning branches to promote healthy growth. The cut seems painful and the plant looks barer for a while, but it's precisely this removal that enables the plant to flourish and bear even more fruit. The same principle applies to you, especially in the realm of finances. When you prune away lack mindsets and cut off grudges or toxic patterns, you create fertile ground for God's abundance to take root. If you have not done so yet, remember to like this video, subscribe, and comment 777. Such an act may feel simple on the surface, but within you, it symbolizes a shift. You're saying, "I'm ready, I trust, I align myself with this current of blessing." And that internal stance will lead to external transformations. Watch how your relationships start to shift, how solutions to long-standing problems appear, and how doors fling open that you once assumed were forever shut. Indeed, the forces of heaven respond to faith in motion. Allow your imagination to wander for a moment. Visualize your bank account not as a place of stress, but as a reservoir that keeps rising. Imagine checks arriving in the mail without an ounce of struggle, projects flourishing with clients or supporters who seem drawn by an unseen hand. Envision yourself effortlessly paying off debts and still having surplus to invest in your future and the futures of those you care about. This is not idle daydreaming, it is a powerful practice of faith. Where there is no vision, the people perish, says an ancient text, and the same applies here. Where there is no vision, finances dwindle. Where there is a faith-filled vision, however, prosperity rushes in like a tidal wave. For some, the concept of money flowing like water raises concerns about greed or materialism. But understand this, true abundance, the one we speak of here, extends far beyond personal gain. Yes, it will bless you personally, but it is also meant to uplift communities, to feed the hungry, to establish centers of hope and education, and to fund ideas that change lives for the better. Money becomes a tool in divine hands, and your hands, when surrendered to God's leading, are divine hands indeed. You will find that the more you align with higher principles of compassion, integrity, and love, the more resources flow to you precisely because they can flow through you. Reflect on major philanthropists or visionaries who started with nothing more than a burning conviction. They often describe a moment when they decided to surrender their small plans and trust something greater. Then doors swung wide open. Finances multiplied, and they were able to accomplish feats deemed impossible by the cynics. The same spirit that moved in those lives stands ready to move in yours once you break free from the mindset of limitation. This process, though grounded in the spiritual, does not exclude practical wisdom. When you sense that money is about to flow, prepare your vessels. Just as the widow in ancient scripture collected jars, so her miraculous supply of oil would have a place to go. Be sure you have the structures in place for your upcoming blessings. This could mean establishing a better budgeting system, opening a savings or investment account, or seeking advice from mentors who've walked the path of successful stewardship. Faith is most potent when combined with smart action. Moreover, pay attention to any new ideas percolating in your mind. Sometimes financial flow arrives as a divine instruction. Start that business, write that book, collaborate with this person. You may feel a quickening in your spirit when these ideas surface, almost like a nudge you cannot ignore. Pursue them diligently, pray over them, and watch how resources align in your favor. Often, God's provision manifests through your obedience to an inspired prompting. If you ignore such nudges, you may inadvertently dam up the river that's meant to flood your life with abundance. Keep in mind that transformation can happen gradually or suddenly. Some experience a steady climb, incremental revenue growth, one opportunity after another, while others witness a sudden flood of miracles that defy rational explanation. There is no single formula because each journey is orchestrated uniquely. What remains constant is the overarching principle: your alignment with divine truth catalyzes financial favor. Now, consider the role of gratitude as you step into this new realm of abundance. It is not merely polite to say thank you. It is a spiritual principle that magnifies blessings. When you appreciate even the smallest of blessings, you signal to the universe and to your own heart that you recognize and welcome more of the same. Like a magnifying glass, gratitude enlarges the good in your life. It is impossible to remain negative or defeated while simultaneously counting blessings. The two states of mind cannot coexist. Thus, daily gratitude becomes a magnet, pulling in new reasons to feel grateful. This shift may also reveal hidden patterns or relationships that no longer support your growth. Do not be alarmed if certain individuals or environments start to feel misaligned with your spirit. It's natural for a metamorphosis of this magnitude to prune away what does not contribute to your flourishing. Embrace the changes with love. Trust that letting go of what's draining or harmful only opens space for connections that uplift and expand your vision. This is not cruelty. It is self-honor and reverence for the sacred mission you carry. If you find yourself struggling to believe or hesitating, it can help to keep a journal. Write down every instance of unexpected provision or favor you have experienced, no matter how small. Over time, you will see a pattern emerge, proof that divine grace has been at work all along. Reading through these entries will bolster your faith in moments of uncertainty. You will see that these are not coincidences, but a continuous thread of miracles, guiding you toward a future of greater blessing. Similarly, if anxiety creeps in, refocus on affirmations that speak life over your circumstances. Say things like, "I am a conduit of divine blessing, resources come to me with ease," or simply, "I am loved, guided and provided for." Speak them out loud or silently, whichever resonates more powerfully in the moment. Words are seeds, and as you plant these seeds of faith, they grow into towering structures of unshakable belief. Soon, the old fearful thoughts have nowhere to root, replaced by a new inner landscape brimming with confidence and hope. Should those around you criticize or scoff at your newfound optimism, remain undeterred. Often, people who cling to scarcity mindsets will project their disbelief onto you. They cannot see past their own limitations, so they assume your vision is naive or unrealistic. You do not have to argue or prove them wrong. The results will speak for themselves in time. Continue to hold compassion for them, realizing that their worldview is shaped by their experiences. Meanwhile, stay true to your unfolding path of overflow. As you remain consistent, some of these very skeptics may eventually come asking how they, too, can tap into the river of abundance. Pay attention to your dreams, whether they come at night or in the quiet moments of daydreaming. You might find fresh clarity emerging about your next steps, or symbolic images that point you toward uncharted territories of opportunity. Divine guidance often comes through subtle hints and impressions. As you grow in faith, your sensitivity to these messages heightens, allowing you to interpret them with ease. What once seemed like random thoughts or coincidences transforms into a coherent tapestry of direction and encouragement. Pray without ceasing. But let your prayer be more than a plea. It can also be a conversation with God about the specifics of your goals. Tell Him about your aspirations, the people you wish to help, the visions you hold dear. Then listen. There is a sacred dialogue that occurs when you open your heart fully. In these exchanges, you may feel a sense of peace flood over you, as if invisible hands are smoothing the path ahead. This reassurance is gold, a precious confirmation that you're on the right track. As you embark on this journey, remember to keep humility at the core of your heart. The more blessings you receive, the greater your influence becomes. Yet, influence is a gift that can magnify your inner state, whether good or bad. Ground yourself continually in gratitude, self-reflection, and service. This ensures that abundance remains a positive force, never turning into self-indulgence that leaves you empty or distant from your true purpose. True prosperity is multidimensional. It enriches you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and socially, not just financially. You will also likely find that the more you walk this path, the more your compassion for others in struggle grows. You'll recall what it felt like to be unsure if you could cover your expenses, or if you had a future beyond endless bills. Having tasted liberation, you'll naturally want to help those who are still stuck in the cycle of lack. This is a beautiful extension of the blessing. Your journey becomes a testimony, and your success stories become encouragement for those wrestling with hopelessness. The cycle of light and love continues, branching out in ever-widening circles of impact. Think for a moment about the ripple effect. A single droplet of water can create concentric circles that expand across an entire pond. In the same way, a single decision to trust God's abundant flow can set off a chain reaction impacting countless lives. Imagine the families who can be uplifted, the dreams that can be funded, the charitable causes that can accelerate, all because you dared to believe that money can flow like water. This is how one person's faith can shift entire communities. You never know how many individuals might be waiting on the other side of your breakthrough, needing precisely the assistance or the inspiration you're destined to offer. Keep pressing on. The path may not always be straightforward, but each twist and turn is intricately woven into a grander design. Even setbacks can be setups. Perhaps a delayed payment or a stalled project forces you to explore another avenue, which then opens the door to an even larger opportunity. Stay patient and flexible, trusting that every detour has the potential to bring you closer to your divine destiny. It may help to adopt a phrase like divine order is in action, reminding you that even when circumstances look messy, a higher hand is orchestrating the outcome in your favor. Maintain your daily routines of prayer or meditation. Consistency in these spiritual disciplines fosters a stable inner environment, reducing the emotional volatility that can derail your faith. When fear or worry tries to rear its head, you can respond from a place of anchored peace rather than panic. Over time, you'll notice your baseline emotional state shifts from anxiety to expectancy, from uncertainty to calm assurance. You become someone who truly lives by the principle, be anxious for nothing, because you have tasted and seen that the provider never fails. Take note of synchronicities as they begin to pile up. You might overhear a conversation in a coffee shop that gives you the exact piece of advice you were seeking, or you might meet someone at a gathering who connects you to a resource vital to your next venture. These coincidences are divine winks, evidence that you've tapped into a current beyond simple cause and effect. Expect them, celebrate them, and keep moving forward with a heart brimming with thankfulness. As you do, the frequency of such occurrences often increases, creating a marvelous tapestry of guidance and confirmation that leaves you in awe. In the process, do not neglect the practical side of life. Pay your bills on time, respect your financial obligations, and take responsibility for your commitments. Divine flow does not excuse irresponsibility. Rather, it empowers you to handle worldly matters with grace and excellence. Excellence in the small things prepares you for bigger arenas. Faithful stewardship of your current resources paves the way for greater inflow. If you have unresolved debts or obligations, pray for wisdom in systematically addressing them. Sometimes, as your perspective shifts and you take decisive action, unexpected assistance arrives to expedite the process. When achievements start rolling in, like a raise, an inheritance, a sudden business windfall, celebrate each one as a stepping stone, not the end goal. Celebrate, yes, but keep your gaze fixed on the ultimate purpose. This is not about piling up riches for the sake of pride or vanity. It is about fulfilling the role that destiny carved out for you before you were even aware of it. Money is simply the means to amplify the unique gifts, message, or calling on your life. When you hold this perspective, you keep greed at bay and let gratitude reign. Be generous with your testimonies. As you see the principle of money flowing like water come alive in your life, share your story wisely. Others need to witness living proof that such a shift is possible. Of course, do so with humility, not boasting. Let your story be a lamp that casts out the shadows in someone else's mind. You never know whose life might pivot dramatically upon hearing your words. People crave authenticity, and your genuine account of transformation can serve as a gateway to their own faith experience. Moreover, never stop learning. Some of the greatest success stories involve individuals who remained perpetual students, always gleaning new insights from mentors, books, and even from their mistakes. As your horizons broaden, you'll grasp more of the subtle mechanics through which spiritual and practical realms intersect. You might discover new skills that multiply your capabilities, or innovative ways to leverage technology to advance your mission. Each piece of knowledge you integrate becomes another channel through which divine flow can manifest. If at times you feel emotional heaviness or spiritual fatigue, that's a cue to recharge. Spend time outdoors, immerse yourself in nature, or simply sit in silent prayer. Reconnect with the source. Remind yourself why you embarked on this journey in the first place. Rest is not a sign of weakness. It's a sacred practice that restores your mental clarity and emotional vigor. Think of the cyclical nature of rivers. They surge and flow, but also incorporate pools of calm. Embracing these quiet spaces allows the current to remain strong overall. As you continue, watch for subtle but powerful changes in your character. Receiving abundance has a way of refining your sense of empathy and humility when approached with the right mindset. You'll find yourself wanting to help others, not from a place of superiority, but from a heartfelt desire to uplift. You'll see that abundance is truly a circle. When you pour out, you create space for more blessings to pour in. That cycle of outflow and inflow becomes a lifestyle, turning routine acts into sacred expressions of grace. Others might start to notice a glow about you, an unspoken confidence that cannot be feigned. They may remark that you seem different, happier, more fulfilled. This is the outward manifestation of the inner shift. It's the resonance of a life that has aligned with divine rhythm, no longer stumbling around in the shadows of fear and doubt. It's the boldness that comes from knowing deep down that you're supported by an infinite source. Embrace that glow, for it is a testimony in itself. Sometimes you don't have to say a word. People sense the transformation radiating from your very being. Still, challenges will come, because that is the nature of life on Earth. You may face sudden expenses or encounter individuals who test your boundaries. Instead of viewing these as setbacks, see them as faith builders. Each obstacle becomes an opportunity to practice what you've learned, to stand firm in the knowledge that the flow of provision is uninterrupted. After you navigate a challenge with faith, you often find your trust grows even stronger, readying you for the next level of blessing. Try not to compare your path with someone else's. While shared stories can inspire, the timelines differ for each individual. One person might experience a surge of abundance within weeks. Another may see a gradual build that culminates in massive breakthroughs months or years later. Trust the process unfolding uniquely for you. Impatience can breed frustration, and frustration can cloud your spiritual vision. Cultivate patience, knowing that the best gifts often come wrapped in perfect timing. When the fruit is ripe, it falls effortlessly from the tree. Keep your energy circulating. If you receive financial gain, think of ways to reinvest it, whether into personal growth, your community, or worthwhile causes. Stagnation can slow the current. If a body of water remains still for too long, it can become murky and lose its vitality. So too can finances or resources that are hoarded out of fear. Your willingness to keep the flow moving will ensure that it remains pure, vibrant, and continually replenished. Whenever possible, surround yourself with like-minded or like-spirited individuals who also strive to live in this flow. Being in a community of believers accelerates your journey because you are each other's encouragement and accountability. In such an environment, testimonies multiply, faith rises, and collective breakthroughs happen more frequently. Remember, isolation can make you more susceptible to doubt. Fellowship, on the other hand, fortifies your faith and offers a sanctuary of support. As your story unfolds, you may discover new spiritual gifts or heightened intuition, guiding you to strategic decisions you never would have made before. This is part of the expansion that happens when you step into a realm of supernatural provision. You start to see patterns or opportunities in the everyday world that align seamlessly with your divine purpose. You might find yourself stepping boldly into leadership roles or creative ventures, fueled by a sense of certainty that all things are possible. These are signs that the seeds of faith have taken deep root, and the harvest is plentiful. Meanwhile, remember to keep an eye on the practical lessons of budgeting, investment, and philanthropy. The flow is unstoppable, but your stewardship can either harness it to do maximum good or let it slip through your hands. There's a sacred responsibility in receiving great blessings. Treasure that responsibility, and you'll find joy in how your resources can transform not just your life, but countless others. The shift from "I need more money" to "I am entrusted with abundance to fulfill a calling" changes everything. It transforms you from a passive recipient into an active participant in a grand cosmic plan. And so the journey continues, each day revealing new facets of the path you're walking. Every sunrise can become a reminder that fresh mercies and fresh opportunities await. The night may hold its share of struggles or questions, but the morning carries hope, clarity, and the promise of divine supply. Let this cycle of renewal mirror your own spiritual ebb and flow. Days of planting, nights of reflecting, followed by the harvest of blessings you've been patiently preparing for. Never forget that the small steps matter. Even a single act of kindness toward yourself or another soul can shift the entire atmosphere. Even one day of disciplined budgeting or one moment of fervent prayer can set in motion changes that alter the trajectory of your finances and your life. The spiritual realm does not overlook even the tiniest of heartfelt actions. They all accumulate, weaving a tapestry of interconnected miracles that unfold at the... If at any point you find your faith wavering, circle back to the core principle. Money will flow to you like water, not because of mere wishful thinking, but because it is anchored in the boundlessness of divine love and provision. Let that soak into your being. Let it override the voice of past failures. Let it refute the inner critic that says you're not worthy. You are worthy because you are created by and for love. Love desires to see you thrive, not scrape by. And as you absorb this truth day by day, watch how your outlook on life evolves. You begin to spot blessings in situations you once labeled as disappointments. You train your eyes to see not obstacles but invitations to trust more deeply. This shift in perspective alone can open doors that lead to new streams of income or creative collaborations. It's as though the world rearranges itself around you, reflecting the inner transformation you have embraced. Pause again and sense the surging presence of something greater than yourself. Perhaps you feel a tingling sensation in your heart area, or a wave of peace washing over you. That is your spirit bearing witness that these words carry power, that they align with the deeper truths woven into your destiny. You might not have all the intellectual answers, but faith often precedes understanding. Allow this wave to move through you, washing away any residue of doubt or fear, leaving you cleansed and open to what's next. Opportunity is a living, breathing force. It moves swiftly, beckoning you to stay alert and engaged. The more you remain in tune with divine nudges, the more you'll realize that opportunity doesn't just knock. It sometimes bursts through the front door when you least expect it. Remain flexible, adaptable, and ready to pivot if circumstances demand it. There's a special kind of grace that accompanies those who respond quickly to spiritual prompts, who do not second-guess the valid instincts placed on their hearts. And as you tread deeper into these waters, you may realize that the abundance affecting your finances is also healing your emotional and relational world. Broken bonds can mend, personal insecurities can fall away, and you find yourself capable of loving more deeply than ever before. Genuine abundance is holistic. It touches every corner of your existence, reminding you that you are not a compartmentalized being, but a wholeness of spirit, mind, body, and soul. Healing in one area cascades into healing in others, just as financial flow can lead to emotional freedom. In time, you will glance back at these days when the seeds of faith were just taking root and marvel at how far you've come. You'll recall moments of hesitation and realize they were overshadowed by breakthroughs that left you speechless. Each obstacle becomes part of your narrative, each triumph a reminder of grace, each blessing a stepping stone to the next level. This epic story of your life is still being written, and each chapter flows more abundantly than the last. Surprisingly, there may even come a day when you discover that your need for money is secondary to your role as a blessing to others. You move from seeking financial stability to becoming a pillar of stability for those in dire need. This is the evolution from seeking your miracle to being someone else's miracle, a transformation that reveals the heart of true abundance. At that point, you'll understand deeply that money flowing like water is about so much more than personal wealth. It is about becoming a vessel of divine generosity, a conduit through which heavenly resources meet human needs. Keep pressing, keep believing, keep sowing seeds of faith, and keep stepping forward in the love that empowers all of this. You are not just a spectator of miracles. You are an active participant in them. Each decision you make to stand on this promise fortifies you for the next wave of blessings. Each time you partner with what is good, just, and compassionate, you add momentum to the current swirling around you. This journey is a dance of discovery, an unfolding love story between you and a creator who delights in your prosperity of heart, mind, and resources. As you stand on the threshold of this new beginning, take one more deep breath and let these final words settle into your heart. The journey so far has been filled with revelations and renewed convictions, all pointing toward the same promise. Money will flow to you like water. Now, as we draw this video to a close, it is time to anchor yourself in everything you have learned, to truly believe that divine provision is not a distant dream, but a present reality. Let this final segment serve as both a reminder and a heartfelt sending off, propelling you into the realm of tangible breakthroughs and limitless blessings. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a resolute peace that simply declares, all is well. No more anxieties about unpaid bills, no more fears that your best days might be behind you, and no more second-guessing whether you are worthy of God's favor. This is the place to which you have been guided, the place of unwavering trust. You do not stand here by coincidence. Every moment that led you to watch this video was divinely orchestrated. nurturing in you the desire to shed old limitations and embrace the fullness of God's abundant plan. Close your eyes for a second and envision your life through the lens of this promise. See yourself calmly opening your mail to find unexpected checks, or speaking confidently to a prospective client who immediately senses your authenticity and aligns with your vision. Picture your family members noticing how stress no longer resides in your eyes. Visualize your savings account reflecting consistent growth, and your mind brimming with creative ideas to expand your reach and bless others. Let these images bloom into a tapestry of faith, a mosaic of hope and expectation that reminds you, yes, this is what I am moving toward, step by step. Now, understand that your momentum will not end when you close this video. You are not being pushed away from this stream of teaching. You are being ushered deeper into its flow. Each new day offers you an opportunity to reaffirm these truths. In moments when doubt sneaks in, recall the message resonating within you right now. Return to the principle that your provision does not depend on external circumstances or fleeting economic conditions, but on the unchanging nature of a God who delights in your prosperity. Allow each remembrance to refresh your spirit, strengthen your unbelief. It is also important to move forward with a heart that is steadily rooted in gratitude and generosity. As money begins to pour into your life in unexpected ways, ask yourself, who can I help today? Generosity is not only about large donations or grand gestures, it is also about a willing spirit ready to share what you have. Maybe it is a kind word, an hour of your time to listen, or a small contribution to someone else's pressing need. These seemingly simple acts become powerful conductors of grace, fortifying the channels through which God's blessings continue to flow. And do not underestimate the importance of community. Whenever you feel your flame flickering, seek out those who are on a similar path, who also believe in divine provision and a future that surpasses present circumstances. In their company, your faith multiplies. You bolster one another with testimonies of progress, whether it is a sudden financial gain, a new partnership, or a door that opened right in the nick of time. Together you create a collective chorus that drowns out the naysayers and amplifies the voice of truth. If you are ever tempted to measure your journey by someone else's pace, gently steer your thoughts back to the uniqueness of your calling. No two seeds sprout at the same moment or blossom in the same shape. In the same way, your personal timeline is divinely tailored. Some transformations may unfold swiftly, creating a ripple of near-instant results. Others might blossom gradually, reflecting a deeper process of shaping and refining. Both are beautiful, both are valid, both are orchestrated perfectly for the destiny you are meant to fulfill. Continue to guard your mind with teachings, music, and uplifting messages that reinforce what you have absorbed here. Reread notes or journals where you have captured each glimmer of hope, every small victory, and even the challenges that prompted you to dig deeper into faith. These records become your library of testimonies so that in a season of testing, you can revisit the stories of how far you have already come. Above all, remain open. Heaven's creativity knows no bounds. The phone call you receive tomorrow could change your entire financial landscape. The chance meeting at a grocery store could connect you with a mentor who sees the potential in your ideas. The random email you once considered spam might lead to an opportunity that eclipses your wildest predictions. Nothing is off limits when you walk in divine alignment. Expect the unexpected, and let that expectation be rooted in the confidence that you are guided, protected, and abundantly provided for. Your past does not disqualify you from this promise, neither does any flaw you perceive in yourself. Grace operates beyond human logic, and as you have learned, it elevates the humble, lifts the weary, and breathes life into barren fields. No matter the missteps or disappointments that may have once marked your history, you are standing in a new reality, one defined by unshakable hope. Money will flow to you like water, saturating not just your external circumstances, but also your internal landscape with renewal and rest. Now that we have arrived at the culmination of this message, let your final act be a leap of faith. Right where you are, whisper or speak aloud, "I receive, I believe, I am ready." Let these words echo like a clarion call through every fiber of your being, as though you are planting your flag on the shore of a land you were always meant to claim. This land of abundance is your inheritance. It is time to set foot on it and to thrive there, no longer content with survival or mere hope, but fully embracing the unstoppable tide of blessing. If you have not already done so, remember to like, subscribe and comment 777 below. These may be simple gestures on the surface, but they signify your willingness to stand in faith alongside a community that shares your vision. And so, with both feet firmly planted in this promise, step forward. Let each day be a testament that money can indeed flow like water, and let your life sing of the wonders that unfold when faith meets divine grace. This is your new beginning. Claim it, walk in it, and shine as proof that miracles are not the exception, but the expectation for those who dare to believe.